Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this episode of The Price is My Life. We break our news. This year, we're going to be breaking news every Tuesday at 1 p.m., our investigations. This week's investigation into the United States Secret Service and one of its agents, by implication, perhaps one of the biggest stories we ever broke because of what it means. And we're going to show you that video in just a minute. This show is brought to you by our faithful sponsors in American Independence Gold and Impact Health, two partners who believe in protecting what matters most, your future and your well-being. We are grateful for their support funding this type of investigative reporting, and even more grateful for all of you for being with us after this break. This year is the year of sustainability and accountability. People are going to go to jail. And as I said at Turning Point, we're going to expose the mother effers. So without further ado, this is our investigation. O'Keefe Media Group worked directly with the United States Secret Service after we recorded this at their request and out of concern for national security and national defense and the safety of the Vice President. We have redacted and omitted specific operational details in this video. You'll see a redaction through my mouth and a redaction through some of the things he disclosed, including specific security formations, exact shift times, specific descriptions of positions and equipment, identifying specific routes, staging areas. You'll see this is a very unusual video because you'll actually hear it bleeped out as I'm talking, and other sensitive information. We have intentionally described this in broad terms only. Our goal in publishing this report was really to send a shockwave through the federal government that we're out there listening to everything. And hopefully this sends a deterring effect against otherwise bad actors. So here we go. Here's our investigation. Breaking news: the United States Secret Service agent has leaked sensitive information about the Vice President and including the President. Breaking news here: U.S. Secret Service agent assigned to Vice President J.D. Vance has leaked information, a holdover from the Biden administration, stating that he voted for Joe Biden, expressing opposition to ICE. Quote, "I hate that shit." He's talking about ICE and the Trump administration immigration policies. Here we go.
Can I see your badge again with your photo? You're so cute.
A current Secret Service agent on Vice President J.D. Vance's security detail.
When he's like walking, like where are you?
If you follow me, we'll have at least a minimum head and
gives away vital high-level security information to our undercover journalists.
we have different shifts. We have shift.
Tells her about detailed future travel plans for the Vice President, and even sends her pictures with location metadata revealing where the President's convoy was located, potentially violating both the Secret Service NDA and United States federal law. And Tomas is fully aware of this. Quote, "I sign paperwork, so if I don't have to get out information, I never do, otherwise I get in trouble." You really have to stand in awe of the lack of self-awareness.
There ain't no secret about what we do.
Tomas Escato also reveals that he voted for Biden and that he hates Trump and Vance's immigration policies.
Did you vote for Biden?
Yes, I did actually.
What do you think about like all the ICE stuff going on?
I hate that shit.
Yeah.
They're employing taxes that shouldn't be employed.
You may have seen reports last week that someone attempted to break into Vice President J.D. Vance's home in Ohio. That incident prompted us to take a closer look. What we found in our investigation was an agent inside the Vice President's detail who was actually revealing to a total stranger that the Vice President would be visiting his home in Ohio days ahead of time. And while what you're about to see is an important story, the security of the Vice President and his family is our top priority. Now, under normal circumstances, our editorial policy is to request comment a day or two before a report airs. But in this case, we contacted the Secret Service a full week in advance of this report to ensure that nothing we report here would compromise the Vice President's safety in any way. But even with those precautions, what we uncovered is troubling, and we felt this is important for you all to see. We hope that bringing this to light strengthens security and helps prevent future vulnerabilities in our government.
Can I see your badge again with your photo? You said you were training. It was your training?
Yeah, that's like 4 years ago.
You're so cute.
We met Thomas on the dating app Tinder in October of 2025. The Secret Service agent is a holdover from the Biden administration. He was actually originally tasked with protecting Kamala Harris and Doug Emhoff. In fact, he sent us this image from a Christmas party in December of 2024. There he is with Kamala Harris.
How did you get picked to do like vice president?
Not by choice, it's just they talk to you and they let you know. It's like, hey, eventually you're going to have to go down to D.C.
Okay.
All roads lead to D.C. now in your career. So you can go to the president's detail, the vice president's detail, what we call counter surveillance division, so that's undercover subcode.
Note the irony, he's talking about undercover counter surveillance to a journalist wearing a hidden camera. Tomas Escato is often directly involved in the vice president's transportation to and from his residence at the Naval Observatory, surveillance of the vice president's residence, and even protecting Vance's wife Usha Vance and their children. Here he complains again to a total stranger he just met about his assignment involving J.D. Vance's children.
So what are his kids like?
We went to school with them.
Oh.
Yeah, and we follow them everywhere. There's a 24/7, there is no black coverage. Not like it's a babysitter or R. It's a weird one that we always talk about, like, what the fuck is this? But you can't do nothing.
Oh, you can't do anything.
No, we can't do anything.
Tomas proceeds to give our undercover journalist detailed info with pictures about the specific methods used to transport and protect the vice president. It even tells her some exact times of shift changes on the Secret Service schedule.
So like when he's like walking, like where are you?
Following.
Just following.
It's a group of us, we surround, make a bubble.
Yeah.
We'll have at least a minimum head and now that I'm on the vice president's actual details, a little different because we have different shifts. We have shift.
Via text, J.D. Vance's Secret Service agent informs the stranger when he has picked up J.D. Vance's wife and even mentions that he and Vance are currently at Tomas even sends a selfie from inside a J.D. Vance's residence at the Naval Observatory. It's basically a secure location while the Secret Service is surveilling the vice president's home. Now, while he's supposed to be guarding the vice president's property, Tomas is busy snapping selfies, texting our journalist. Now, here's a picture that Tomas sent us taking off from Joint Base Andrews Air Force Base. You see the convoy vehicle going into the airplane, and some of these photos even had location metadata baked in the photos. It's worth mentioning that these pictures were taken a few months prior to sending them to our journalist. While they didn't give away the vice president's location in real time, they did give away certain routes that were used and the number of vehicles in the convoy, information which could be used in the future. This is a photo Tomas sent us from King Khalid International Airport in Saudi Arabia. Here's a photo Tomas sent us loading the convoy into an aircraft at Munich Airport in Germany, where Vice President Vance gave a speech to the Munich Security Council. Again, metadata there on the photo. Another image revealing the exact location at the presidential helicopter at JFK in New York. And we think perhaps most significant here revealed the location where President Trump's convoy was driving through Emirates Palace in Abu Dhabi, May 2025. This convoy was transporting President Trump for a state visit with the UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. These photos are from Tomas Escato's time during the Secret Service shot from his personal iPhone. His personal phone dating back to May, while on duty protecting the vice president and president, and all of this was sent to our undercover journalist. The Secret Service agent even goes on to detail recent visits to Minnesota, Tennessee, specifies that the Secret Service team was on location as per the procedure.
He went to Minnesota last week.
Okay.
So we sent out a team ahead of time before he went there. Ahead of time.
Okay.
So they do the security advance for that. Depending on what it is, you know, we liaison with our field office out there, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and any other federal law enforcement, depending on what we're doing. Come up with a plan to secure where he's going to be at, the airport, the route from each place that he's going to. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you're staying in a hotel, then we have someone else, and we have to set that up.
Oh my God.
Before the trip to Tennessee, the Secret Service agent also texts our journalist informing her which plane the vice president will be traveling in and when they plan to depart. He even texts her an image of himself in the plane, notifying her that he is on board with the VP. And even worse, Escato continues to detail Vance's future travel plans, revealing at the time that Vance will be visiting his home in Ohio for 4 to 5 days and then will be visiting Florida for one night. Now, this is potentially a violation of the non-disclosure agreement that Tomas would have signed when joining the Secret Service, which states, quote, the unauthorized disclosure, unauthorized retention, or negligent handling of classified information by me could damage or irreparably be injury to the United States or could be used to advantage by a foreign nation. I hereby agree that I will never divulge classified information to anyone, unquote. And it may also be a violation of federal law. 18 U.S. Code 793, gathering, transmitting, or losing defense information. Now, in some Section D, it states, lawfully having possession of photographs related to national defense and communicating or transmitting them to any person not entitled to receive them shall be fined or imprisoned, not more than 10 years or both. It's important to note that the Secret Service could not confirm that the behavior exhibited by Tomas violates these laws, but they did say they are potential violations of the United States Secret Service Code of Conduct. And Tomas is fully aware of this, as he mentions in one text to our journalist, quote, I signed paperwork, so if I don't have to get out information, I never do, otherwise I get in trouble. You really have to stand in awe of the lack of self-awareness. All of what I just showed you is ironic, because Escato has already given our journalist information about protective formations, times of shift changes, locations and times of travel, and even pictures of vice president convoys with location data. There is one more aspect to this interaction that caught our attention. Tomas reveals to our Undercover that he voted for Biden.
Did you vote for Biden?
Yes, I did actually.
No, 2020.
20, yeah.
Yeah, I did too.
That was the first time I was able to vote.
Really?
I wasn't a citizen.
Wow.
I got my citizenship in 2018.
If Tomas got his citizenship in 2018, he's been a Secret Service agent for 5 years.
How long have you been as a Secret Service?
5 years.
5 years. Okay.
And that means he was placed into duty with the Secret Service after about 2 years of citizenship in America. Tomas also goes on to reveal that he hates President Trump and Vice President Vance's immigration policies.
What do you think about like all the ICE stuff going on?
I don't like that.
It's really sad.
I don't understand why they're covering their face. I don't agree with that at all. At the end of the day, we're public servants.
Sure.
You're allowed to see our face.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing secret about what we do. But why they're doing that, I have no idea. They got to stop with that stuff. Though.
Yeah. It's terribly sad.
No, that is actually a sad thing. I hate that shit.
Yeah.
They're employing taxes that shouldn't be employed.
Now there, Tomas is actually allowed to express his opinions. It's his First Amendment right. If he was only doing that, this wouldn't be a story. We thought it was important to include that because it might provide some clues or context as to why he was displaying this behavior. Whether Tomas is merely inexperienced and loose-lipped, intentionally sabotaging the vice president's security, or just plain stupid, well, that's unclear. But what's certain is this should not be happening inside our Secret Service, particularly after the serious security lapses in 2024 that led to the head of the Secret Service resigning after what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania. And why do we think this is an important story? Well, most importantly is the protection and the security of the Vice President of the United States. And we hope this story leads to better security and better protection than what we're seeing here. We're confident that it will. We hope it sends a shockwave through the Secret Service that deters bad actors and unprofessionalism in a way that, for example, Inspector General never could. And we hope that it leads people with information to come to O'Keefe Media Group and Citizen Journalism Foundation. We hope that it encourages people to tell other stories like this, to root out malfeasance in our government, and to force people to do the right thing, to force people to do their jobs. And if you know the American people are being lied to, please reach out to us, tips@o'keefemediagroup.com, or text us 914-491-9395. That's 914-491-9395. That's messaging us on Signal, so it can be secure communication over a Signal call. In the year 2026, we're going to be releasing our investigative reporting every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Stay tuned for the Secret Service's reaction to this story, the reforms from this story, your caller reactions, and special guests on the program with breaking news related to this story. See you soon. This is James O'Keefe. You know me for exposing the truth and holding the corrupt elite accountable. But today I want to talk to you about protecting your own freedom, your retirement. Now, gold is soaring above $4,200 an ounce right now and climbing towards $5,000. That's up over 45% this year alone, with silver closing in on $60 an ounce. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and major banks are now forecasting gold between $5,000 and $6,000 within the next 6 to 12 months. And that's why I've partnered with American Independence Gold, a veteran-owned company where proceeds from every sale help support the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. And right now, my followers get a free gold bar with every purchase of $10,000 or more. Go to O'KeefeMediaGold.com, that's O'KeefeMediaGold.com, or call 833-324-4653. That's 833-324-GOLD. This is James O'Keefe, where freedom isn't given, it's secured. This is not financial advice. Consult a professional before making investment decisions. All right. Well, there you have it, the investigation that we just launched, and we just have breaking news. We have a statement from the U.S. Secret Service that we've just obtained, hot off the press. This is attributable to U.S. Secret Service Deputy Director Matthew Quinn. I'm going to read this to you. We're going to put this on the screen for you as I read it. Quote, "The U.S. Secret Service has no tolerance for any behavior that could potentially compromise the safety, privacy, or trust of our protectees. This incident is under investigation, and the employee involved has been placed on administrative leave with his clearance suspended and access to agency facilities and systems revoked. The U.S. Secret Service has also issued an order for all personnel to retake the agency's required anti-espionage training in order to ensure employees are aware of the threats posed by individuals aiming to exploit agency employees for info." That's interesting, anti-espionage training. "The U.S. Secret Service has a 160-year-old tradition of discretion that sets the agency apart, and we have no tolerance for employees who fail to meet this standard. The U.S. Secret Service deeply apologizes to the Vance family for this violation of their trust and privacy. The faith our protectees place in the agency is not something the U.S. Secret Service takes lightly, and we are committed to taking the necessary actions to ensure that a similar breach of standards not occur again." Back to me. Folks, if you're just tuning in, we have a reaction from the United States Secret Service. This is a memo from the Deputy Director Matthew Quinn about our video that we just broke. And what's interesting from this statement is it says that the U.S. Secret Service has issued an order for all personnel to retake anti-espionage training. Now, what's interesting about that is that the Secret Service is vulnerable to espionage. And if this agent can't figure out a citizen journalist is involved in this, how can they figure out if a foreign government is playing him? This is a colossal misstep, and far beyond the magnitude of anything he actually said. He did not know that he was divulging this to a citizen that could have been a Chinese spy. As an agency, he's been exposed to every spy agency in the world, and that's why they're doing this espionage training, and that's why this is a huge failure. Now, I'm at two reactions. We have another bit of breaking news. The Secret Service issued a memo. I just got handed this memo, and I believe we have Laura Loomer on the line. Can we bring on Laura? Laura Loomer actually obtained this memo inside the Secret Service. Is Laura, are you there? I think we're getting Laura on as we speak. Let's get Laura on the air. Let's put the memo on the video so that people can see the memo that I'm reading from. And let me know when Laura's on the air. Laura, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, but there's a lot of feedback. I can't really hear you very well.
We apologize for the feedback. Can you hear me now?
It keeps on reverberating and echoing your voice.
Well, we'll try our best to get your feedback, Laura. Can you speak about the memo,
Okay.
the memo that you published? Can you talk about what you unearthed from the Secret Service within the last hour.
Okay, that sounds a lot better now. Thank you. Yeah, well, phenomenal job once again, James. You always hit it out of the park. The Secret Service provided me with an internal memo that the director of the Secret Service, Sean Curran, has sent out, telling all of the agents that they need to be very focused on the importance of privacy and discretion for agents. You know, when you take your oath as a Secret Service agent, you're swearing that, you know, you're going to give your life, right, to whoever your principal may be, whether that's the president of the United States or the vice president, in the event that, you know, it's a life or death situation. And so because you are tasked with protecting the life of your principal, you have to have the utmost discretion. You're not supposed to be taking photos on the job. You're not supposed to be, telling people where you are. You're not supposed to be giving out locations ahead of time. And so the memo, I have it posted on my X account. People can read it. It says, over the past several months, an agency employee was deliberately targeted and manipulated by a citizen journalism media organization and misrepresented itself in an effort to get close to the employee and expose sensitive information. This is the second time in less than a year that our personnel have been subjected to this same deceptive tactic. Well, you know, I don't really find it to be deceptive, right? They should be trained enough. If they were actually doing their job, right? If these agents, and I'm not saying all Secret Service agents, but if the agents who are disobeying orders and acting unprofessionally were to actually be doing their job properly, they wouldn't have to worry about a sting operation because they wouldn't even be talking about their job with a person wearing a hidden camera to begin with. You're not supposed to talk about your job when you're a Secret Service agent. Quote, sadly, in this instance, the employee failed to meet the standards demanded of this agency and engaged in conduct that runs counter to our values, our policies, and the training that we provide to prevent exactly this type of compromise. So they're saying that the agent is compromised.
Laura, they take a dig at us here. They say the Secret Service says that he was deliberately targeted and manipulated. For those of you, you know, Laura is a friend of mine, like a sister to me. I know a lot of people in the comments are attacking her, but Laura is the one who broke this story. Laura Loomer actually got the copy of the memo, which is why she's on the air. Laura, you're breaking news here with this memo, but the first paragraph of the memo, they're attacking me. What do you make of that?
Well, look, I don't necessarily think this is attributable to the director of the Secret Service, who I know is a great guy. I mean, look, we all watched him throw himself on top of President Trump that day in Butler, Pennsylvania. So, you know, I can't really speak when we say they. This is attributed to Matthew Quinn, the deputy director. So I wouldn't say that it's fair to go after the director himself, but I would say that, you know, they should be, I think that the Secret Service should probably be very grateful for Project Veritas and the fact, O'Keefe Media Group. See, there's a little bit of a throwback there, right? Because I'm one of the original Project Veritas employees. But, you know, they should be thanking the original founder of Project Veritas, O'Keefe Media Group, James O'Keefe, for your intrepid investigations that helped them uncover an agent who's compromised. I mean, this could end very badly. We already saw last week that J.D. Vance's personal home residence was attacked. There was a disturbed individual, a transgender individual, who somehow bypassed Secret Service agents who were on patrol just hours after the vice president left his residence in Cincinnati, Ohio, with his wife and children. And this transgender individual started bashing out the windows at J.D. Vance's home. Initial reports had said that it was gunshots, causing everybody to go into a frenzy, but we later found out through the Secret Service statement and their own investigation that it was, in fact, a hammer. And we know how badly those hammer attacks can go. We have the reference of Nancy Pelosi's husband.
Laura, we got a congressman that's about to come on. Thank you, Laura Loomer, for showing us this memo that was obtained by Laura Loomer. Thank you very much, Laura. I'll talk to you after the show. We have
all right, great work.
For those of you just tuning in, we broke the story at the first 20 minutes of the show. Secret Service agent has compromised, leaked sensitive information to the undercover journalist, and we have a memo from the United States Secret Service just put out. The employee failed to meet the standards demanded of the agency and kind of attacked us, which we find troubling. But says there, and we go back to the statement from the Secret Service, pull the other statement up, and the statement says, quote, the U.S. Secret Service has issued an order to retake anti-espionage training. Now, that's critical. We're going to have Laura Logan on to talk about that in a minute. But first, Congressman Andy Biggs' reaction to the story. Briggs, are you there?
James, I'm here, yeah.
Hey there. What's your reaction to the story and to the Secret Service's reaction to the story?
Well, number one, a lot of the Secret Service agents do a great job, but obviously this guy didn't. And in so doing, he put the vice president at risk. And their number one job is supposed to be to protect and preserve the life and safety of their principal, in this case, J.D. Vance. So I'm dismayed, number one, that somebody out there with loose lips was divulging basically very, very confidential information that could have put the second family in jeopardy. Number two, I get that they say, well, we need to beef up our anti-spying training. Well, in a way, don't take it as a hit to you guys. I think you should take that as a compliment, because what they're saying is, look, we got basically played and infiltrated because we had a guy who didn't follow protocols and training, and you guys exposed that, and which is a good thing to have it exposed. But it's a better thing for them to go back and retrain and make sure these agents are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And then the third thing is, this gets back to something a bill I introduced in 24. They shouldn't be doing all the financial fraud investigations that they're doing. Those should be going to Treasury, the Department of Treasury, and maybe a little bit even to HSI. They should be focused solely on their mission of protecting and preserving their principles, like the president and vice president.
You're talking about they being Secret Service is doing financial fraud investigations. What type of financial fraud investigations have they been doing?
They'll do counterfeiting and those types of fraud. Yeah. So roughly a third, 25% to a third of their agents at any time are not doing protective services, James. They're doing these financial fraud investigations.
Well, I mean, Congressman, we're talking to Congressman Andy Biggs about his reaction to this story of a Secret Service agent in Vice President Vance's security detail giving away sensitive information to a total stranger. One of the things that struck me is how easy it would be for a professional spy. These guys are, I mean, thank God I'm not a spy. That's not my intent. I'm a news gatherer. But, I mean, they don't look, the Secret Service, some people have said they look like, one of the comments, look like morons to, in the intelligence community among your peers. This must be completely humiliating for them. It's a problem. Is the Secret Service really this easy to penetrate? Because we didn't really do any espionage. We just were bystanders that got told this information. We didn't target this individual. We didn't set out to. And our intent is not to play him long term. But any foreign government could. I mean, what's your reaction to that?
Well, that's what I'm, most concerned about. To be frank with you, I mean, I've watched your operations. You guys don't usually play, a super sneaky gotcha. I mean, how did this happen? And I look at it and I say, we have got to make sure the men and women of Secret Service actually understand the gravity. And I think most of them do. To be frank with you, I think most of them do, and they get it, and they do a superior job. But this guy, I just get this feeling that he's not alone. And so that's why I'm glad that at least they're going to go back and they're going to do training.
Yeah.
Because I think so many of them are excellent. But this guy's going to need some training. And you want to remind everybody constantly, you got to be on your guard, because as you say, look, we already, whether you go back to Swalwell and Fang and those types of things, we know that there are other nations and malevolent, intentioned organizations that are non-state actors that are trying to penetrate the Secret Service cordon and protection of our leaders. And
that's the issue.
I think that's why I get back to the thing. Yeah, you did a great job, in my opinion. You guys exposed it, and that's a great thing.
One more question, which I was unclear to me. I don't know if you can. We were talking to Congressman Big's reaction to the 20-minute video, which we're going to post here as soon as the show closes for all of you to see again. But was your thinking that he's, is it more than incompetence? Is it more than stupidity? Is it ideology? Just in watching this, what was your perception of his vulnerabilities that could be compromised by a foreign agent potentially?
Well, all three of those things, stupidity and ignorance, incompetence, and then basically dissatisfaction with the principles that he's assigned to represent and protect. It was hard for me to decide which one of those it actually was, but I mean, it could be as simple, and this is why you have to have great people on board. It could be as simple as you got a guy and there's a beautiful woman that comes up and manipulates him. I mean, the letter that Secret Service had talked about manipulation. Well, did they manipulate him by saying, well, this is a guy? I mean, this is what a spying organization would do from another state. They would say, here's a guy, we hear this guy is really dissatisfied, he's got Trump derangement syndrome or whatever. We think that a pretty head is going to turn him. And that's the fear. And that's why, again, I get back to this. I can't praise you guys enough. You expose something that needs to be fixed. And it could be any one of those three things. I don't know what this guy's particular weakest spot was, but
if he's sharing it with us,
he just wanted to brag.
I mean, there's one thing I can't even.
Exactly.
I had to redact it. There was some type of place where he was doing anti-surveillance. I had to redact the name of it, the place, everything. If he's sharing it with strangers, who knows who else this guy is sharing it with? Congressman, thank you so much for your reaction to the piece. I appreciate you coming on. We'll be in touch. Back to me, guys. Breaking news here.
Thanks, James.
We have a new format where we play our package at the beginning of this live show every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. So if you're just tuning in, you probably missed we'll pull up the video clip again. Producer, could you do that for the team? Could you pull up just the first minute of the video so they can know what we're talking about? And then we have Laura Logan on, advisor and friend of mine, to react. Let's play the top of the piece. This is just play 60 seconds of the Secret Service agent whose name is Tomas Escato, Biden holdover, and he hates ICE, and he's compromising the security of the Vice President of the United States. Roll tape.
Your badge again with your photo. You're so cute.
A current Secret Service agent on Vice President J.D. Vance's security detail.
When he's like walking, like, where are you?
We'll have at least a minimum head and
gives away vital high-level security information to our undercover journalists.
we have different shifts. We have shift.
Tells her about detailed future travel plans for the Vice President, and even sends her pictures with location metadata revealing where the President's convoy was located, potentially violating both the Secret Service NDA and United States federal law. And Tomas is fully aware of this. Quote, I sign paperwork, so if I don't have to get out information, I never do, otherwise I get in trouble. You really have to stand in awe of the lack of self-awareness.
They know secret about what we do.
Tomas Escato also reveals that he voted for Biden and that he hates Trump and Vance's immigration policies.
Did you vote for Biden?
Yes, I did actually.
What do you think about like all the ICE stuff going on?
I hate that shit.
Yeah.
They're employing taxes that shouldn't be employed.
Very good. All right, so there's more, but I know you guys seen this. I'm playing this for the live viewers. Now, we have Laura Logan. We're going to bring her in. She speaks very eloquently on the subject matter of this, and I want to bring up the statement again. Laura, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, James.
Okay, I've got the statement from the Secret Service. This is attributable to U.S. Secret Service Deputy Director Matthew Quinn, and there's a part of this that struck me. Quote, this is a statement from U.S. Secret Service about the video that we just played. The U.S. Secret Service has issued an order for all personnel to retake the agency's required anti-espionage training to ensure employees are aware of the threats posed by individuals aiming to exploit agency employees for information about our protection. Can you talk about that, please?
Well, James, first I want to say that this is probably, arguably, the most important story that you have ever done. This is a massive security breach in the Secret Service that you have exposed. And the Secret Service director should be on his knees thanking you for the work that you've done. You have done them the greatest favor that anyone has ever done them. I want to ask every single person listening to this and every person in the United States of America, can you ever in your lifetime remember when a member of the Secret Service protecting the president or the vice president actually committed a security breach of any type, gave away locations, was sending pictures from board with the vice president, is streaming or on phone live from a position at the vice president's residence where they're busy supposed to be doing security. I mean, there's so many different levels in which this violates Secret Service